That day, I had half of the dosage that I usually take within, hours of ingesting it. So that kind of opened my eyes to CBD and what the possibilities could be there. And then you have places or people like Carlos Frias with Green Lotus, who
Shout
are
out.
yeah, who are bringing in some of the most interesting CBD products that I've seen. Things that he's he's putting it out there and educating people about the different variations of CBD and which of those variations might be more beneficial for you. You may not benefit from a vaporized form of CBD. You might benefit from CBD dabs or CBD edibles or some kind of topical lotion. There's all kinds of other aspects that you can look at when you have a market that is funded, when you have a market that is educating you and itself as it grows. So that's one of the really exciting things about here in Texas, that there are quite a few CBD companies that are making innovations and that are making strides in their industry. So I'm excited to see where that goes, especially when it comes to being able to get access to a safer treatment than pharmaceuticals.
How's the rest of the round table feel about CBD?
I'll talk about CBD. So CBD is legal. It's a legal product, and there is no THC. Eric is consuming it right now through a vape pen, and I utilize CBD often. I think I don't feel like it's habit forming because it isn't. It's a product of well-being. It's a health product. So if you take CBD, then you're not getting euphoria. You're not getting high that you would get from THC. And it's just a wellness product. And like Eric said, there are topical lotions, there are edibles, there are liquids, there is a wax type. It would be a wax, a wax. But there's a lot of options, and I think with some of the other sort of related products like Kratom, for example, I think that the government probably has laser eyes on that to try to take it away from us as soon as possible. So I think awareness and utilization from consumers is important right now, and spreading awareness about how it is a health product, and that's all it is.
Roy, I wanted to get your opinion. Where do you stand on the whole CBD discussion?
Well, we've been having legislation on just researching it and making sure that the public knows since, what, the 70s? At least in Texas, 73, we opened the first bill to look into the science behind this, and I think that's something that's more important today than ever. People need to be as educated as possible. We need to know how to look at where this information is coming from, why our legislation is voting yay or nay. We need to know the benefits. We need to know where to look at the science. So as far as my opinion, yay or nay, I don't really have one because I haven't looked at the science. So I'm looking for that transparency through our government and through our scientific community.
Sean?
I'm 32 years old. Been consuming cannabis since I was 17. Never really liked alcohol, but I drank it. Never really liked tobacco, but sometimes I consumed it. First time I tried cannabis, I realized that something that was a missing component of my body chemistry had been found. With CBD products, I was very skeptical of these when they first hit the market, because the cannabis consumer protectionist in me said, snake oil! And I immediately thought of patients getting ripped off and greedy businessmen making a lot of money confusing people on, this is medical marijuana. To my relief, that's not what has happened. These companies, in the cases of the two that Eric listed earlier, Honeybee and Green Lotus, they're actively
Shout out.
They're actively participating in the reform of the laws, both behind the scenes and in front of the curtain. They're giving to organizations like ours, and then they're innovating with products that the older stoner in me has completely come around to the fact that CBD is something that I like. Just having a little CBD that is a pen that we only have CBD in this, it's got its own unique taste and flavor. It allows me to satisfy the craving of wanting to smoke cannabis, which sometimes isn't the best thing for me to do right before I go do something else. And even though there's no THC in it, when you consume CBD, it changes in the body to CBN, is it CBD? Which is slightly psychoactive.
So a breakdown.
So a conversion occurs. And so when you consume this non-psychoactive component, it becomes semi-psychoactive for a moment. And so sometimes, me, for example, when even, the fact that I would like to consume the highest quantity of THC in the shortest amount of time, get stoned or medicate, if you want to call it that. CBD, it being this targeted other thing that I don't get stoned off of, but feel more relaxed afterwards. And more like, I don't even really want to smoke now, all of a sudden, because I just had some form of it, and now I don't stink. My eyes aren't bloodshot. I feel totally normal, but slightly more relaxed and less antsy about when's the next time I get to consume cannabis.
Kind of like a vapor coffee.
Kind of, almost like decaf, where it's like, yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the benefit. You're not getting the full relaxation of THC. Euphoria is another way of saying getting high, okay? The relaxation of getting stoned is second to none, in my opinion. But having the CBD, as an example, in a high-stress situation, let's say you're in traffic, okay? And a lot of people, especially in Texas, they get road rage really bad for some reason. I don't know why. Having something like this as something that more people know about, because you're not getting high by using it, I think it would potentially reduce the amount of road rage, because it gives the people who are waiting, the millions of people who smoke cannabis in Texas, it gives them the opportunity to say, okay, I get to take a quick break and medicate for a little bit and not feel shit-faced stoned, but actually feel like I got some good quality product that's making me feel better. Like she said, a wellness product. And
Like a vitamin, basically.
like a vitamin. And so I feel like one of the most important things that consumers, if you like THC, one of the most important things that you can do to help medical marijuana in Texas is to support the damn market that has emerged and try some CBD products. Try a company that you have found, that you've researched, that is open about their science and willing to tell you exactly what their process is and wants to be super, super helpful and give you good customer service, because it's a competitive market. And we, as the consumers, have the power to shape that market right now. I feel like one of the most important things we can do is go and try some. Go to a store or buy it online, and while it's legal, get some of this and try it and give it to somebody who said they'll try it as soon as it's legal. And let that be a little birthday gift or an anniversary gift.
I wanted to wrap a taste again, Roy, on your political activism stance. We kind of ran away with it on a couple of topics, but you had like a narrative to explain about the bathroom bill that you said that like you wanted to get out. You're for party reform, and we're in the presence, and the round table community is mainly comprised of third-party voters. And I don't know how you felt about Gary Johnson. I don't know how you feel about the Libertarian Party specifically. What is the reform that you're specifically looking for in any party as this election that's just taken place?
Real quickly then, surveying people's issue-based votes, I'd say a good 90% of the population is libertarian as opposed to authoritarian. Forefathers were all libertarian. The only reason we are an authoritarian society is to push our civil rights. It's not meant to be a permanent thing. And the current system is certainly taking advantage of that in a lot of ways, but it's still our duty to educate ourselves and the next generation about libertarian values and our liberties.
What are a few that you want that are your preference to break down when it comes to liberty?
Well, I mean, getting into Western moralism, talking about gun control, talking about owning your own land, the ability to be self-sustaining. I mean, things that the government shouldn't have a say-so on. If you're born a human, a natural human, it shouldn't be illegal to be a human, and right now it is.